as kind of typical with our first few minutes here, we are going to have a breakout. And so I'm going to ask a question and I want you guys to just think about it for a second, and then we will break out into a couple rooms. And so I know, again, some of you are super new. This might be your first call. Some of you are old timers and have been around and done this a couple times. But I want you to think about if you could create a dream volunteer opportunity or project, what would that look like? And how do you envision it benefiting volunteers and your community? So I'm going to say that again. If you could create a dream volunteer opportunity or project, what would that look like? And how do you envision it benefiting both volunteers and community, your community? Did everyone get that? Perfect. All right, I'll give you like 15 seconds. And then Jeff, you're gonna break us out into our rooms and get us ready. And you guys can kind of just discuss any first thoughts that you have thinking about that. You might be sitting here being like, I have no idea, and that's okay. But just kind of getting the brain flowing, thinking about projects, thinking about volunteers. So yeah.
Okay, here we go. All right, welcome back, everybody. Hey, so this last Saturday was Love Escondido. And now, Lillian, was this the very first Love Esco Day? I mean, I guess to this extent, when it was truly community-wide. I know you've done things before, but was this the very first big day?
Yes, we've done Love Esco month for the last 3 years, but this was our first 1 day Love Esco day with like a kickoff party in the morning and then projects happening throughout the day. But we're still doing a whole month.
Awesome. So, hey, tell us just two quick highlights. What are two highlights that just took place that day that you're just super excited about?
The biggest highlight was that it didn't rain. As
Yeah.
many of you who are in Southern California know, it's been a rough couple of weeks for us who aren't used to this kind of weather. So it felt pretty just miraculous that we had 1 to 2 days of no rain, in between lots of days of rain. So we had a lot of people comment on that throughout the day. So I think that was just great that people still came out despite the cold weather.
Mhm.
And then I think just, at least for me, and my teammates can pitch in, I think it was really exciting to see a bunch of small businesses and community partners want to join in, not really knowing what it was going to look like. There was a lot of skepticism towards doing an event so early in the morning. And if people were going to come out for like some kind of community resource fair, but everyone just jumped in. So it was fun to see that excitement on Saturday morning of people really being like, wow, this actually worked. And then just having a couple like local legends come out and support the day too, who maybe don't live in Escondido anymore, but really care about it.
Very cool. Hey, if you all want to see more, if you go to Love Esco's social media, Facebook or Instagram or whatever, there's some great videos. And I saw the one last night about the presentation from the county supervisor, San Diego County. Like, just, it was amazing. It truly was amazing. And you did such a great job sharing too. And yeah, it was super, super encouraging, just the difference you guys made. Is there any ideas that you guys did that you feel like, wow, that really worked, that you could share with us, other cities, that maybe we could steal some of your ideas that were successful for our cities?
I think one of the things we really focused on wanting the event to be free, wanting it to be focused on local businesses. So we asked a lot of like a local donut shop, a burrito shop, a coffee place, if they could provide their items for free. And I think that helped get people excited and bring people out. And then and for people who maybe couldn't afford it, it's because it is a small business. We asked for sponsorships from other businesses so we could help cover the cost if they weren't able to do that.
Well, that's cool.
Anyone else on the team thinking of anything?
Yeah, I'll just jump in real quick, Lillian. I would say that because we had so many local businesses, nonprofits, organizations involved, Lily and I worked on it. We've been working on it for like the past like 8 or 10 months. But I feel like the community has had a sense of ownership in it. And it's not like we did something for them, we did something with them. And that's why I think there was a huge turnout, even though it was only the first year.
That's really cool. And hey, can I share one idea that I'm totally have stole from you guys is the phrase kickoff party. I think that is like brilliant because years ago we used to use the word rally. That word has so many political connotations now. We needed to move off of that the last few years. But then we've been using festivities, which is cool. Hey, we're having these festivities, but a party? I want to go to a party. I mean, a kickoff party is like such a great phrase. So, we're using that this year, and man, I would encourage you guys, your other cities, to consider that as well. So I think that is really, 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 really creative in that way. Well, thank you, Lillian. Thank you, Karina, and just your team. You guys were just awesome. And again, y'all, if you go to lovesco.org, right? Yes, check out their website. They do such a great job. And yeah, it's just super encouraging and super proud of your guys' efforts. Okay, I got some other good news here. So this last month, we've got 4 new cities that have come on board. Love Fallon in Nevada. Ashley, are you on the call? I don't know if Ashley's on the call. Okay, so Love Fallon in Nevada. Love Roseville and Talon and Judah. I don't know if they're on the call, but Roseville, and then Love Rockland in California, by the way. Nathan and Julia with Love Rockland, and then Love Valley Home. And I see Jessica is on the call. Valley Home here in Northern California area here. So super excited to have Valley Home on board. And I got some other good news. Danielle, where's Danielle? There you are. I'm sorry, all these people here. Danielle's having a baby, y'all. She's having a baby this Friday.
Yeah.
Yay, this Friday. And so Danielle, we gave Danielle a couple options. We said, hey, you have your baby on Friday,
Rick.
have Saturday and Sunday off, right? And then let's get back to work on Monday.
Yeah.
Right. That was one option. The other option was, hey, maternity leave is an amazing thing. And so Danielle's going to be taking 12 or so weeks off. So until mid-May to bond and just to enjoy just this baby and this new family that's come together. And so while she's on maternity leave, Jamie in Love Orange is going to fill those shoes the best she can. It's big shoes to fill. But Jamie will be the one where, if there's website issues or your challenges or whatever, she's going to be the first person you're going to contact to help out just anything you're doing with your city in that way. Now I'm going to be available as well, but I want to have Jamie to be the one that steps in first of all to help out. So yes, so we're going to be covered. This is going to be a busy season for many of us, but I think we're going to get through it and we're going to do it really well. So anyhow, yay Danielle and yay Jamie, and really appreciate you both here. Okay, Danielle. Oh yeah, by the way, too, Danielle has recorded a 30-minute website refresher. And so you can go to the resource page and get more details on how to run the website. But, I don't know about you, but I haven't been in it as much, than I was a while back. And so just a refresher course that we'll be sending out in the email following up this meeting as well here. So
Yeah.
Danielle, anything else you want to add? And I'll let you lead into our interview here.
I don't have much to add. We're excited, obviously, and Jamie's gonna do an awesome job. But yeah, I know we sent out an email with a YouTube link and YouTube took it down and they're kind of being bums about it. So we've got a Dropbox link instead that we will be sending out to you guys, and it'll be on the resource page as well. But yeah, just a great, that was in place of doing our call tomorrow, because I decided doing a call the evening before I go and be induced was not
Come on.
really something I wanted to do. So I hope you guys can understand that.
I think we got it.
But so we're excited. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, I am technically still working today and tomorrow, and so shoot them at me. But we are gonna jump into projects. I know that was something we had talked about in our first breakout, and then we're gonna talk a bit more here. And we are hearing from Lisa from Oakdale. Lisa, do you want to give a wave? There you are. And so I've just got a few questions that I want to ask her, just in regards to Oakdale and kind of how they go about finding projects, doing projects, because they really do an amazing job. And Lisa she's a champion, I'll tell you that. So Lisa, why don't you introduce yourself, kind of just tell us who you are, your city, tell us about your city, and go from there.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Colgard. Jeff asked me to get involved with Love Oakdale in 2019, and we were planning for 2020, which obviously didn't happen. So our first citywide volunteer day with me at the helm was in 21. So I have 3 of them under my belt. I know a lot of you have way more years experience than I do, but it's been just an amazing experience to be involved in. Oakdale is a super unique town, and I absolutely love our town. And I hope all of you feel the same way about your towns. But we're a small little town just outside of Modesto, so not too far away from where Love Modesto first started. We have about 25,000 people in our town, so pretty small. I actually looked up some demographics because I wasn't sure what the exact numbers were, but it's about 60% white and 30% Latino. And something that surprised me that I read this morning was that it's less than 25% of us have college degrees. So, so that's kind of where we are, but we are known as the cowboy capital of the world. We're a Western themed town. We love that. And we are, Oakdale has a lot of pride in who we are. We're a 1 high school town. I always love 1 high school town. So the whole town comes out to watch Mustang football on Friday nights. And I don't know, Savannah's on this call too, who was born and raised in Oakdale. So she may have something to add, but that's, Oakdale's just a unique place. So even a lot of, as I was thinking about our projects and what to share with you, I hope translate into your cities.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love a small town. I'm there with you. So, okay. So when it comes to projects, how does your team go about finding projects? Is it something that you guys find? Does it come in from the public? Does it, how does that happen?
So like many of you, I'm sure we have the suggest a project button up on our website. And so we do usually get 3, 4, 5 projects that are submitted by community members. And we definitely always try to respond to those. Some of them are sometimes unfeasible. But if they are something we can do, we will work on doing that. So our projects, Jeff talks a lot about collaboration, and kind of being a force of collaboration, and then hopefully being a catalyst in your town. But our projects all come out of just collaboration and relationships with people. So our projects are, I always go and sit down with the director of public works for our city. We have a great relationship with them, and they wind up kind of saving projects for us and know that we're coming at the end of April. And now with 3 years with my direction, they know that we're going to do what we say we're going to do. And so I actually had to go to them last year and say we need bigger projects because I sent too many people out there and you guys didn't have enough for us to do. So training them actually about what our capacity is and what we can do. We usually sit down and wind up with maybe 6 projects from the city, and those are city parks where maybe we're doing some deep weed cleaning that their staff hasn't done, or we're putting bark on their playgrounds, things like that, doing some painting, anything we can do to help kind of those public places. They usually give us a map of alleys that they would like us to go through and collect garbage out of. And so those are kind of our city projects. And then I go and sit down with our director of maintenance for our school department, for our school district. And And then we actually wind up taking a tour to every school, and we have 4 elementary schools, a junior high and a high school in our town. And we try to have a project at every school too. This year, we're with Savannah, who's on this call, we're gonna reach out more to the parent-teacher committees before I go sit with the maintenance guy, and just realize we've kind of been missing that step, and that's something we could do better, is to meet with them and make sure that we're not taking away something that wasn't on their list or something they were planning on doing, and just communicate with them before we go talk to the administration. So that's definitely something we can do better. We also then reach out to all the nonprofits in town. We have a couple that do real hands-on classes with those that are struggling with different needs. We have a food pantry. We have some that are just really doing great things in our city. And I love making those calls and just saying, how can we help this year? Those are some of my favorites. We also have my absolute favorite projects that are the ones where we're in people's homes and helping at individual homes. And so we usually do on average about 15 individual homes on our citywide volunteer day. And we have a gal in town who's just literally the ultimate volunteer, who has relationships with the senior center, with the STARS program from the police department. And she just kind of has her hands in a lot of areas of town. And she's been on our Love Oakdale committee longer than I have been. And she does a great job at identifying those homes. And we'll sometimes get individual homes that are suggested via our website, like, hey, my neighbor's yard is out of control. And Lupe will always go vet that house for me and make sure that that's something that might be an actual project. And then in addition to those things, you know, schools, city, nonprofits, individuals, we always try to have some projects that are just more encouragement projects. And most of those we wind up just kind of dreaming up ourselves, or our project leaders do. For example, last year, a gal came and said, I really have this vision for doing bags of sunshine and delivering them to all the shut-ins. So she put together with a team 150 bags of all yellow little gifts, you know, and they were literally bags of sunshine. And then they delivered them to all the shut-ins in town and all the senior developments. And then they actually had extras, so that they stood out in front of the grocery store and handed them out. So so that's kind of where we get our projects.
No, that's amazing. So it seems as if it's built on relationship, first and foremost, and then from there you have some key people. You have your parks people, your schools, just kind of those specific people that you know you can reach out to and say, we need projects. What do you have?
Exactly.
Okay.
And before we start recruiting and looking for projects, we recruit project leaders. That was a step I really missed in my first year when I was running this. And so if that isn't something that you focus on at this point, I would highly encourage you to do that. If you go to the Love Oakdale website right now, actually, you'll just see project leader tab. And we have a form where we are recruiting project leaders. Our project leaders are what make this run. They're an incredible group of people. And especially with all the individual homes that we do, you know, I need a project leader at each home. And so the number that I needed last year, we had 42 project leaders because we had 42 projects. But gathering those people before we even have identified our projects, and even asking them what kind of ideas they have for projects in town has been key. We weren't doing that initially. And once we started recruiting them before we had projects and moving on. Some of the projects come with project leaders. You know, if it's a nonprofit, they may have a project leader. The schools may have somebody that wants to help and do that. So some of them do come with a project leader, but more often than not, I'm needing to identify a project leader for each of the projects. So recruiting them before we identify projects has been big.
Yeah. That's a really good tidbit. All right, I've got one more question for you. So in your opinion, what qualities of a project or of a project make it kind of particularly attractive to volunteers? And how do you leverage any of those qualities in Oakdale?
That's a hard one, because I feel we really try to have projects that are across the gamut, you know, really different. You know, I want to have projects my senior citizen parent do very well. Have a, you know, last year that was packing bags for our local veterans group who does homeless ministry. And I just want to make sure we don't have a lot of requirements for projects. We just help where help's needed. You know, I mean, if the school says that we need help, we're just going to make it happen. I think there's been 2 projects in the last 3 years that we've just said that's not a feasible project. But for the most part, if somebody says they need help, we just find a way to make it happen. And we don't have a lot of requirements or guidelines even. You know, we want projects that, you know, kids can do, that seniors can do, that limited mobility friends can do. And so we just really try to have a really wide range of projects that we hope we'll find people for.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't think I really answered your question, but
No,
that's
no, I mean, what I take away from that is the projects where anybody can volunteer, people want to be involved with, and they want to love on their community. And so I think that's a good quality of a good project. Well, thank you for sharing. And that was some really great information. I'm sure if you guys have any questions for Lisa, she'll answer them for you. If you want to throw your email in the chat, Lisa, you can go ahead and do that. But you're just such a great resource when it comes to projects and just being involved with your city.
thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna
Well,
take.
and can I give one more shout out?
Yes,
Savannah has been on these calls for months that I have not been. We have a meeting that happens in our town on Wednesday mornings, so I generally attend that. Savannah is actually heading up our volunteer day. So our citywide volunteer day is not under my direction this year. It's under Savannah's for the first time, and I'm so excited and so proud of her and so thankful for her. So I need to give that shout out.
Hey, thanks.
Good job, Savannah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna take a couple minutes here, and I'm gonna ask a few questions. You guys can write them down on paper, laptops, wherever you want. Just kind of a moment of reflection, and then we will jump into breakout rooms. Those same rooms that we broke out in this morning or before, and then just kind of share a few things. So I want to ask you guys to think about well, I've got a few questions here, and now because there's a lot of newbies on here, I want to make sure they're good ones. What do you think are some innovative approaches or strategies that your organization, your love, fill in the blank, has implemented or would like to implement, just kind of as you are going through this process of getting ready for your citywide volunteer days? And it might be something that Lisa just said. It might be something you're just starting to kind of think about. But what's a good approach or strategy that you are wanting to implement in your city? And I'll let you think on that for a second here before I ask the next question. Okay, my next question is to share a memorable volunteer moment or project that had significant impact on your community that you represent. And for any cities that are new, this could be just a volunteer thing that you have seen in the past. So kind of start racking your brain a little bit on what have you seen that has worked well, whether it's people spreading mulch or bark or painting a playground or something like that. But what's a memorable volunteer moment or project that had a significant impact on your community? I'll give you a couple seconds there. And then Jeff, when you are ready, we'll go into breakouts. And we'll just be in them for a few minutes so that we can come back and kind of come back together.
just to clarify, so
Yeah.
these questions, we're going to be discussing these in our breakouts that we just did.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if I can figure this out. So we've got, okay, we're almost back together here. 8:44. Hey, we are right on time, y'all. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed connecting with each other and hearing stories of just the impact that we're making. I mean, we truly are making a huge impact in our cities, you know, and it's not like super brain science to figure this out. We're just seeing a need and people going to meet that need. And I was saying in my group is like, who gets blessed? I mean, when you go to try to help a situation out or help a family out, we're the ones that get blessed, right? And so creating that in our communities and just taking initiative. I think most people, I think, want to help. They want to be a part. They just don't know where to start. They don't know. So if we make it easy for them to get on board with reaching out in their community in different ways, we just most people respond in that way. Okay, so two things: your citywide volunteer dates this year. If you've not given them to us, if we don't know what they are, please put them in the chat here right now so we know your dates for this year. We want to be able to celebrate it, pray for it ahead of time, but also post, hear about it as well. So please put any volunteer dates you have this year in the chat. Second thing is next month, we're going to talk about how to get sponsors, okay, for your volunteer day, for your ongoing efforts that you have, and so that you can raise as much funds as you need. Does anybody need to raise more funds in your city? I'm telling you, this is a proven way. Getting businesses, churches, organizations, they want to get on board. They want to have a good name. Every company, organization wants to be known for loving their community. It's good for them. It's great PR. And so it's a win-win for sponsorship. So we're going to walk through that next month and hear from some of you as well about how you do it. And let's just learn from each other so that we can have all the funding we need for our cities. All right, I think that is it. Thank you all. Have a good day today, and I look forward to being in touch.
Awesome. If you want to stay on, you can. I know Jeff and I
Yes.
will be here for a couple minutes, but yeah.
Sounds good. All right, y'all. Have a good day.
I have new girl questions. I'm going to stay on.
Okay. Perfect.